Welcome to my channel, Iraqi Dinar Hub, bringing you the latest on IQD, VND, and ZIM developments. A wave of mysterious outages has struck U.S. banking platforms in recent days, stirring alarm among global currency watchers, especially those holding Iraqi Dinar, IQD, Vietnamese Dong, VND, or Zimbabwean dollar, ZWL. While these shutdowns are officially labeled as maintenance, their simultaneous timing across both regional and multinational banks suggests otherwise. On the surface, these events might resemble routine tech updates, but radio silence from bank staff in support lines is raising eyebrows. Currency holders watching exchange data, transfers, and balances have flagged anomaly as disappearing currency listings, altered conversion rates, and sudden access restrictions. These events may not be glitches. They might be the groundwork for a quiet, but massive monetary shift. A pressing question now resonates through the global investor community: is the revaluation already beginning, cloaked in digital shadows? As systems go dark, some see disruption, others see confirmation. Nationwide in the U.S., an expanding group of bank users has reported experiencing more than just minor delays or technical blips. These disruptions include log-in lockouts, halted currency conversions, and missing FX tabs. Alarmingly, they're occurring across numerous institutions at once. Banks continue to assure clients that these interruptions are part of standard system upgrades, but the breadth and synchronization suggest otherwise. It's especially troubling for IQD, VND, and ZWL investors that many affected banks are known to support large-scale foreign currency activity. When such specific functions suddenly go offline across a broad spectrum, speculation rises fast. Could this be a hidden recalibration effort under the guise of maintenance? The functions impacted a forex viewing, wire tracking, rate conversion support the theory. If banks are installing new compliance protocols, rate databases, or settlement algorithms, pausing all access makes sense. For vigilant currency watchers, these so-called glitches may actually be strategic steps in a high-level transition. For those deeply entrenched in the currency revaluation world, this isn't just a strange coincidence. It's history repeating. Similar silent periods preceded other major revaluations in past decades. Consider Kuwait. Prior to the dinar's return after the Gulf War, banking services halted, communications stopped, and transactions were frozen. All were later traced to revaluation readiness. In Zimbabwe's case, as the ZWL went through drastic redenominations, international banks experienced staged shutdowns to ensure smooth integration. These examples highlight a consistent theme: before a major monetary shift, systems don't crash, they pause on purpose. The aim is to protect data, enforce security, and prevent market chaos during back-end changes. It's increasingly likely the current silence is not random but calculated. What we're witnessing might not be technical failure. It could be the quiet build-up to a global financial reset, and those watching carefully are beginning to connect the dots between history and present-day activity. Financial experts are beginning to address these strange banking disruptions more seriously. Veteran Forex analyst Stephen Langley says the timing coinciding with fiscal quarter closeouts cannot be ignored. He notes that widespread banking system issues don't erupt without cause. Backdoor data streams, internal simulations, and liquidity testing have been detected by informed insiders. Some banks are reportedly running rate lock-in tests, trialing new values behind closed doors. Langley claims that internal memos are now restricting foreign exchange desk disclosures and halting updates to rate sheets. Even though central banks and the IMF have not issued formal statements, experienced observers are looking at what's happening and not what's being said. From transaction throttling to compliance flagging and batch testing, evidence is stacking up. Langley and others are convinced these actions align with preparations for a global currency reset. This isn't maintenance, it's monetary recalibration in motion. At the center of all this is the Iraqi dinar, long speculated to be the keystone of a global financial reconfiguration. Recent events in Iraq lend real weight to the theory. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, working with the IMF, has rolled out reform measures designed to tighten oversight, digitize state payments, and enhance transparency. One notable change: The use of blockchain-backed smart contracts in public sector disbursements is widely seen as a vital step toward global integration. Simultaneously, CBI has scaled back its media output, a tactic many believe signals an internal transition under tight secrecy. Rumors continue to circulate about internal tests of exchange rates ranging from $3.50 to 790 IQD per USD. Reports claim U.S. redemption centers are now on high alert. Whether this is verified or not, the overlapping developments suggest the dinar is poised to initiate a cascading revaluation. For holders of IQD, this period of silence may precede an explosive change on the global stage. While the IQD gets most of this spotlight, the Vietnamese Dong is quietly rising in importance among currency watchers. Vietnam's central bank, the SPV, is methodically modernizing its financial infrastructure. Recent increases in SPV's international engagement, especially with BRICS and ASEAN blocs, signal a strategy to elevate the Dong's role in global trade. Vietnamese exporters have reportedly begun using adjusted exchange rates in new contracts, implying foreknowledge of an upcoming change. Analysts predict that if a revaluation does take place, the Dong could revalue to anywhere between $3.85 and $5.10, a dramatic increase. Unlike Iraq, Vietnam is known for its quiet precision. Any shift may come not with bold announcements, but with quiet updates and stealthy releases. With synchronized banking pauses already visible and secretive communications underway, many believe the Vietnamese Dong may be next. Investors would be wise to track Vietnam's fiscal steps carefully in the coming days. Long overlooked due to its past hyperinflation, Zimbabwe's ZWL is now emerging as a potential surprise player in the global currency reset. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is shifting toward a gold-backed monetary system, this time with real audited reserves of gold, platinum, and lithium. Unlike prior attempts, this model is supported by IMF advisors, who are working directly with Zimbabwe's central bank to implement sound fiscal strategy and reintegration. This adds an unusual level of credibility to Zimbabwe's monetary plans. The current ZWL structure is based on real assets and transparent settlement methods. Investors holding older high-denomination notes could see redemption options arise under structured contracts. If a global revaluation is happening, ZIM may play a key role, offering value backed by natural resources. Behind closed doors, talks of multi-asset payouts and harmonized exchange rates have surfaced. Zimbabwe's story could soon shift from cautionary tale to model for emerging market stability. The clearest signals often lie not in announcements, but in what happens inside the banks. Internal leaks and staff reports from Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo highlight strange compliance activities centered on IQD and VND transactions. Temporary restrictions on foreign wire transfers, login access, and FX viewing functions are reportedly tied to internal audits. Several branches have distributed vague memos instructing staff to follow enhanced security protocols and suppress currency-related inquiries. Of particular interest is a function insiders call rate change visibility staging, a system feature rarely used unless new rates are being embedded behind the scenes. Experts explain that these updates are far from routine. They demand intense interbank coordination. From a technical standpoint, the consistent symptoms across institutions of throttled access, FX lockouts, and secretive update tests strongly indicate a massive back-end recalibration. It's no longer reasonable to call this a coincidence. Something significant is underway, and it's gaining speed. Recent activity at so-called redemption centers across the U.S. is further confirming the theory that a revaluation event is in active motion. These centers, often embedded in private bank offices or secured facilities, have shifted from testing mode to operational status. Leaked reports say that staff are now under NDA agreements, receiving specific training for appointment-based currency exchanges. Security teams are increasing in number and installing new digital protocols to prevent leaks. Perhaps most revealing are reports of offline rate sheets showing multi-tier values for IQD, VND, and ZWL. One such document, allegedly visible only to center managers, mentions contract rates as high as $6.90 for IQD and $4.25 for VND, though unconfirmed. The leaks suggest these rates are already baked into private banking systems. Experts note that for these numbers to go public, systems must first pass full compliance checks and final synchronization. These redemption centers may soon become ground zero for a historic currency event. Large-scale financial transitions require perfect timing, and July 2025 appears to offer that ideal window. Iraq is politically stable under Prime Minister Soudani, with corruption curbed and economic reforms gaining traction. The IMF's guidance has given Iraq's economy fresh credibility. Meanwhile, Vietnam is integrating faster into international digital trade systems and leveraging its BRICS and ASEAN ties. These internal reforms remove many of the risks that previously held both nations back. At the same time, U.S. inflation is cooling and the Fed's policies have become more supportive of liquidity shifts. Global market volatility is down, creating an environment where massive financial change can unfold with less resistance. All these factors, de-dollarization, global trade alliances, digitization, and synchronized banking infrastructure, point to July 2025 as a planned launch point. This moment likely wasn't chosen by accident, but by coordinated design, signaling a calculated shift in the global monetary framework. As speculation intensifies, investors must remain focused and rational. Not every outage means an RV, but repeated, well-timed disruptions are unlikely to be coincidence. Currency holders should keep an eye on updates from the CBI, SPV, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, and major global financial bodies like the IMF. It's also critical to safeguard your physical currency. Ensure you hold genuine notes, store them securely, and retain receipts or provenance documents. Banks may ask for proof of lawful ownership during redemption. You should also develop a clear plan of action, know which bank you'll use, understand tax implications, and prepare legal documentation. Don't wait for a public announcement. This event may roll out privately and quickly. Those who plan now will have the best chance of success. Stay organized, stay legal, and remain ready for the call, because when the moment arrives, there may be little time to react. Among the most misunderstood yet essential components of a currency reset are NDAs and tiered rate structures. These tools ensure secrecy and orderly processing of redemptions. Early participants who access premium rates or humanitarian projects may be required to sign NDAs, preventing leaks that could destabilize markets. Likewise, not all rates will be equal. Rate offers may depend on currency type, volume, documentation quality, and purpose. Those exchanging privately through redemption centers might access rates far beyond what's publicly listed. Financial institutions are believed to be refining these structures during current system pauses. Each customer category is reportedly being mapped to a specific settlement protocol. Implementing such complex systems quietly takes time and silence. A leak could derail the entire structure. Investors shouldn't expect public walkthroughs or advance notice. Instead, knowing how NDAs work and being familiar with structured payout terms may prove invaluable in the weeks ahead. If this revaluation unfolds as many anticipate, the effects will reshape global markets. A revalued dinar would enable Iraq to attract investment, rebuild infrastructure, and reduce its reliance on U.S. dollar reserves. Vietnam could become a financial powerhouse in Asia, leveraging a stronger dong for regional dominance in trade and technology. Zimbabwe's resource-backed currency would provide a blueprint for stability among African nations seeking to escape debt cycles and fiat traps. However, major windfalls will bring scrutiny. U.S. investors especially must prepare for IRS oversight, capital gains taxes, and financial disclosure requirements. Moving funds offshore or shielding them from visibility could become more difficult under revised banking laws. Smart investors are already creating trusts, reinvestment plans, and legal frameworks to protect their gains. The revaluation won't just create wealth, it will require disciplined financial planning to preserve it. In this new financial era, Readiness is the greatest asset of all. Banks don't move in chaos, they operate in silence and sync. When global institutions begin to quietly limit rate access, pause transactions, and update back-end systems all at once, it's really accidental. This pattern, seen now with IQD, VND, and CWL, hints at much more than maintenance. From hidden rate databases to high-security drills and redemption centers, signs point to a synchronized event that could realign the financial world. The RV may not come with a big announcement or flashing headlines. It may come with a login screen that doesn't load and a bank system that resets silently. For those watching closely, this is the moment to stay calm, stay legal, and stay ready, because when the shift happens, it won't reward noise. It will reward preparation. Thanks for watching Iraqi Dinar Hub, your go-to source for the latest insights on the IQD, VND, and ZIM. As we continue to monitor these unfolding developments, remember that the signs aren't always loud. Sometimes, silence speaks the loudest. If this video brought you clarity or raised new questions, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you stay ahead of the curve. Share your thoughts or any breaking intel in the comments below. We value every perspective. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay prepared. The revaluation may not be announced with headlines, but for those who are ready, it won't go unnoticed.